if you don't know what's going on nowadays, is there's this big bifurcation in venture that's occurring. 75% of the dollars are going to, top 10 firms. It's billions of dollars. They're turning into RIAs, which are retail investment advisors. So it's these huge shops managing tens of billions of dollars. Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, Lightspeed, General Catalyst. And these are just absolute juggernauts. And I wouldn't necessarily call them venture capital anymore, to tell you the truth.
Right.
And I'm going somewhere with this. It just may take a little while. So excuse me.
We don't have a gong.
Actually, we
do have a gong in the main room, but not for this.
Excuse my meandering, right? So, but it's important to the story. So you have these massive firms that once were very, very innovative shops, and they really coalesced around. They brought themselves back to Silicon Valley. So if you hear any of the podcasts, you hear people talking about how the greats, the people that I grew up kind of saying, oh my God, these guys make such great investments, like Peter Fenton and Ben Horowitz and all the guys from Sequoia and Index and so on and so forth. And they say, this is the place, this is the only place, this will be the place forever, San Francisco. It drives me fucking nuts for obvious reasons. I mean, for anybody to have kind of for anybody to have the hubris to say, okay, like oceans rise and empires fall. Do you remember Rome, right? Like there's never been a time where there hasn't been an empire or an organization that hasn't fallen. So for them to all say, San Francisco is the only place you can do venture capital and create artificial intelligence technology and do all of these things forever, full stop. It's like, you don't know if San Francisco is going to be the Borderlands or Fallout in 50 years, never mind anything else. But putting all of that aside, that's the art that they're practicing or the science that they're practicing. They're moving tens of billions of dollars. They're doing it into a very certain set of companies. It becomes consensus capital. With all that being said, I'm invested in some of these firms. So it does have a place. And if you want to move $100 million check, like most pensions, then this is a good place to park your money because you can't go wrong betting on IBM. And you can get your classic 2 to 3x over X, 10-year period of time, so on and so forth. What we're seeing now is that on the other end of the barbell, there's still a huge demand and a huge space for craft venture capital firms, the sub-$100 million vehicles, people that can be nimble, people that are truffle pigs, people that are, pirates, people that are once entrepreneurs, and you're seeing a lot of these, and they're amazing. And they're sitting there and they're saying, I'm going to raise $100 million or less, and I'm going to go and get as early as humanly possible, invest with conviction, try to get ownerships, invest at a sub-10, sub-$20 million valuation, and try to help those companies create optionality to the point where they can get to the Andreessen Horowitzes and the Sequoias and so on and so forth. And there's just such a massive amount of alpha at that stage. And by alpha, I mean you can get an 8x or a 10x on a fund. Historically, there's been no fund that's greater than $100 million that's created greater than a 5x return.
Right.
So,
our experience, we've only seen the greater than 4x returns on the first two checks we write, which are pre-seed and seed.
Totally.
And we're tiny,
No.
We're not in your league or theirs by any stretch.
So that's exactly it. I mean, it's math, right, at the end of the day. And there's a place for both of these types. So when I was making the choice to get into venture capital, it was, join the Navy or be a pirate. Joining the Navy would have been more lucrative and probably a little bit more palatable to my wife and my family at the time, because those become kind of fee machines, and you're guaranteed, a certain amount of money and a lifestyle and so on and so forth. But I would say that the more entrepreneurial effort for the rank and file at venture capital firms comes from becoming a pirate. I would say, in building your own kind of firm and your own brand and so on and so forth. So, circling back to your question,
I was gonna get back to that.
Yeah. So
why you?
Yeah. So first things first, because you have a choice between getting one of these massive machines and these nation states and getting all the resources they can provide you at a certain phase, which is totally advantageous in a lot of circumstances and a lot of times in a company's kind of arc. But I would say that you're going to get a lot of personal attention from people like us, and specifically from us. We are not the types like Keith Rabois and crew saying the only way to do this is to pay the most attention and most resources to your successful companies, forget all of the losers. That's what they're saying.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to, I think they've actually said the word losers before, right? So we don't do that. We invest in 35 companies per fund. In every single one of those companies, as long as we're still an invited guest at the table, meaning, the styles match and they want us there and they want our help and they want to reach out to us and they want our advice, we are going to show up at any time, any place. I mean, we are that call in the middle of the night. And it just so happens that I think, one, we have experience. Yeah. I mean, we can see around
operators and
this is Sparta, right? Like, there's scars all over the bodies in Impellent, and we all have various experiences. We're all very different, but one thing that makes us who we are is that we all have that experience in different capacities as entrepreneurs, and we all have kind of our specialties. It's like a SEAL Team 6. Also, we share values at the firm. So with that being said, why Impellent? It's because you are going to get the attention. You are going to get the help. You're also going to get the help of, and some firms can boast this, I would say, in the emerging manager or kind of the sub-$100 million sector. You're going to get our LP base as well. And our LP base is just comprised of, the state of New York and some institutionals, right, which we're very blessed to have at this stage. But in addition to that, the Jason Robbins of the world, Mike Salguero's at ButcherBox. Jason's from obviously DraftKings. Some of the HubSpot folks, Rich Miner from Google Ventures and Android, and Andy Palmer, and there are just so many people that are involved with our firm that can just open these worlds. So it's almost like I'm probably dating a lot of the audience here, but Minesweeper. Right? Like each one of our LPs is that kind of thing that opens up a new part of the map as long as you don't step on a bomb. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I wouldn't say we're the only people that provide that sort of stuff, but we certainly provide our own kind of unique brand. The last point is, and I know you probably want to move on to the next question, is that we fucking print money. There's been data, and our portfolio is outperforming 99% of the other portfolios in the United States of America right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we're there.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's fucking data, right? Yeah. Like at the end of the day, we can say, okay, go talk to them.
It works.
I could talk about myself all day long. I'd rather not, like my wife would tell me not to, but,
Well, let's hope she listens. Yeah. All right. Thanks for that sort of set on Impellent and how you position yourselves in the firm.